Hi, this is Barbara Greil, one of the reference librarians at Alfred State College. This short video will show you how to use one of our databases, Academic Search Complete, to do research for your tech writing assignment. The first thing you want to do is get to the Alfred State College website at www.alfredstate.edu. Then, once you're at this page, you'll link to the library link at the top of the page. That takes you to this page. Now you'll notice that there's a link right on this page to Academic Search Complete, the database we're going to be discussing in this video. You can link to this, but what I suggest you do is go to this link, Databases by Title and Subject, in order to get to a page that will offer you many more options in addition to Academic Search Complete that you'll be using perhaps later on in your research. So let's go to Databases by Title and Subject. Notice that there are links to what we call multidiscipline journal databases, the first one being Academic Search Complete. Some of the other databases listed here might be useful for your paper depending on what the topic is. We also have links to some of our reference databases, and we also have links which we're going to discuss in a later video on how to access databases according to specific topics, and that's under the Databases by Subject category. But let's now link to Academic Search Complete. So we're going to be researching the topic of smart windows. We're putting it in as two different words, and we're searching it as a keyword, which means the two words could be in any part of the entry, and we get 469 articles. However, if you put a phrase like this in quotes, the index will search it as one whole phrase, and now we have 255 articles. But let's see if this is the best word to use. And I see from the first example over here that there's a subject word that they use called electrochromatic windows. So I think we'll use our Boolean connector OR and include electrochromatic windows in the search. And as you can see, it expanded the search. Now, if you want to narrow the search, you're going to use the Boolean and let's say in this case we want to find out about the environment or environmental impact of these types of windows. And now, of course, it narrowed it down to 45 articles. And if we change it to a subject search, it means it has to be in the subject line. It narrows it down even more. Now, that's not very many articles, but when you use Academic Search Complete, you have choice of adding additional databases like Applied Science and Technology Index, ArtSource, which you wouldn't think would be a useful one here, but it's got architecture sources. If we want to know about the environmental impact, that sort of hints at a business aspect or an economic aspect, so that might be a good one to choose. For those of you who are working on a technology that has to do with the military, don't forget to search in the Military and Government database. And of course we want to look in energy and power source. That looks like a useful possibility. And also Environment Complete. We'll click OK, and we're going to do the search the same way. And now we have slightly more entries than we did before. Before we had 10, now we have 13. So we have to think of expanding this somehow. And again, we go back to the subject lines and see if we can find some additional words. Energy consumption or conservation I've seen in our list of results in the subject lines. So why don't we add those to the search as well, again with the Boolean OR. And that expanded the search to 89 articles. Now there are a number of ways of narrowing a search once you've gotten your basic results. For example, you could choose only to look at articles in full text, and I would not recommend this for this class because you may wind up missing something. Certainly you can limit by year. and you can use this slider menu to do this. Now we have 46 articles. Another way to limit is to take a look at the type of publications. We have academic journals, magazines or periodicals, newspapers. For example, here's an article from a periodical. It happens to be Time magazine. And if you put your cursor over the spyglass and pull down that little bar, you usually get an abstract. And as you can see here, it's got very little information about the windows that we're interested in. So it doesn't have a lot. And it's the kind of thing that most people can understand. It's in a magazine. But by contrast, if you look at something in an academic journal, again, put your cursor over the spyglass and look at the abstract. In this case, it's a formula that, you'd have to know something about the topic in order to understand. So academic publications are written for a different kind of audience than magazines. So let's take a look at the formats that you can find your articles in. This article from the magazine, Time magazine, is in HTML format. It's just one long web page. You have the option there of also looking at it in PDF format, which means you'll get an actual image of the article, which is nice because then you can cite to the exact page. And then you can use the toolbar to print or email the article to yourself or put it in a temporary folder. You can cite it, and when you do cite it, it'll bring up examples of citation formats, different citation formats. That's helpful. And another thing you should know is if you click on that link that says permalink, it brings up a link that you can embed either in a web page or an email message, and that's what you want to use when you want someone to go to this article in this database. Don't use what's in the location bar because that won't work. Now if you click on 360 link, what that means is that the article is not available in this database, but as you can see here, it is available in one of our other databases, SUNY Science Direct Titles. Clicking on the article link will bring you right to the article. Now sometimes that doesn't work. Here's the PDF file, by the way. And if it doesn't work, we can try to get the article from another library for you.